Hi everyone, this is Real World Audio. Tiago has asked the question about preamps, and he has asked a very long question, and basically I'm going to answer it with a few videos. And he would like to know more about the volume control using a transformer, and also about how preamps work, what they do, what is the function of the potentiometers of the volume pot's impedance. So if it's like 10k, what does it mean? How is it different from, let's say, 100k volume pot? And a couple more questions, and whether if you have a transformer volume control close to an input selector switch like I have, is that a problem? So does the transformer make your input selector noisy? So I'm going to go through all of these, and it's going to take a couple of videos. So let's start first with preamps. So what is the job of the preamp? Because usually when you go through review channels, or basically most materials you can find on YouTube, then when a reviewer talks about a preamp, then they are talking about how many inputs does it have a DAC built in, does it have a phono stage built in, does it have a remote, and so on. Does it have maybe an LCD screen on it? But all of these things are extras. So if your preamp has any or all of these, or lacking any of these, then that does not tell you anything about what it does as a preamp. It just tells you about all the extra features, bells and whistles that come with it. But give you no hint about how does it do its primary duty. In fact, the more bells and whistles are built into a preamp, those bells and whistles compromise the basic functionality of the preamp more and more. So each one feature that's added extra to a preamp is going to take away from the quality, from the job quality that a preamp can perform. So you really, if you want the best sound, then you need to have a preamp that has the least number of bells and whistles, because given the same cost for the unit, then that cost and the effort goes into the preamp itself, the functionality of the preamp, and not into those extras. So let's see, what does a preamp, what's going on? So what does a preamp do? There are basically three main functions for a preamp, and these three are: number one, adjusting the volume, so make the volume louder or quieter. And eventually the volume control, it cannot make things louder. When the volume control is maxed out, it means that whatever input signal is coming into the preamp from your source, maybe it's a CD player, it's a DAC, it's a streamer, or it's your phono stage or cassette player or reel-to-reel, if there is no volume control, or the volume control is to the max, it means that the signal from your source is hitting your preamp without decreasing it or changing it. And then if, for example, if you have a passive preamp, it means that there is no gain provided for the preamp. Then by setting the volume to the max, you are getting the same output level from your preamp as your source was providing it. So basically, any kind of passive preamp you have, it means that there's no gain stage to it, so it can provide only as big signal out as it received on its input side. And for example, in those cases when you have an amplifier that has high input sensitivity, then you will be fine with it, because even with a lower signal you can get very high volume from your amplifier. However, if your amplifier has low input sensitivity, meaning that it requires maybe, let's say, 3, 4, 5 or 6 volts for full power output, in that case you would need a gain stage in your preamplifier, because let's say your CD player's maximum output is 2 volts, and then you need to multiply it by 3 to get 6 volts for your low input sensitivity amplifier that requires that much. And eventually when you have, for example, I would say most systems, most amplifiers are built, the design consideration for an amplifier is that its input sensitivity is 2 volts. Because 2 volts is the typical nominal output that most CD players have or had in the past. And since the advent of CD players, all the companies try to make their amplifiers in such a way that that 2 volt is able to drive them to full output. However, what happens is there are some CDs that are recorded with low level, and in those cases, if you want to listen to your CD at high volume, you still need a gain stage, because maybe on your compact disc the maximum output, let's say, is less than half a volt, because it was recorded with very low settings. So in that case you would need to bump it higher, and that's why gain is needed in preamps, and that's why we need active preamplifiers. So if there's a gain, then it is an active preamplifier, because many CDs, they were recorded at lower level. Or if you look at DVD's output, it was only half a volt, or cassette tapes output also like half a volt. Phono stages outputs depend greatly upon the cartridge and the phono stage itself, but they can vary from anything between half a volt to 5 volts. So overall, an active gain stage is required when you have a source that that has too low output for your amplifier. And there's a third point why you would need a preamplifier, and that is impedance matching. And Tiago, you asked about buffer stages, buffer preamps. That's the buffer preamps function, is to match the impedance of the source, let's say your CD player or streamer, to the impedance of the amplifier. And what on earth is this about? So to make it very simple, matching impedance is basically adding current drive. So what happened since we have solid state amplifiers is that solid state amplifiers run on current. So when you plug your solid state amp into your system, it will prefer to have very strong current drive. However, many of the sources are not capable of putting out such high current to drive the majority, or I would say a number of solid state amplifiers. And the reason for that is that most solid state amp manufacturers are cheating. and the way they are cheating is that they are missing out a gain stage in the front of the amplifier, and that gain stage is the current gain, and that is needed because our CD player or other sources outputs, they have voltage. Many players nowadays even have like 3 or 4 volts outputs, but the current that they provide for this 4 volt is not sufficient, or I would say not optimal for a solid state power amplifier. And that's because for solid state power amplifiers they use or low impedance volume controls, and there is another reason why we use that, or why the industry uses it, because the lower the impedance of the volume control, the more resistive the system is to pick up noise. So the higher your impedance of the volume pot, you need better interconnects to avoid picking up hum. And also another reason is that if you go for these lower impedance pots and you have these impedance matching buffer preamps, then it will make you able to run longer length interconnects without problem. So basically using this approach we can run longer interconnects, and however there's the problem that you need to provide the impedance matching, which means basically a current amplification stage has to be added to your system because it's missing from your amplifier. So right now let's just stop here. So for preamps, these are the 3 functions that a preamp needs, and if you have a DAC in your preamp or it has a remote or whatnot, that's just an extra. But these 3 are the main or obligatory functions, and every single active preamp that has either let's say vacuum tubes in it or solid state devices, they do these 3 functions. But based on how those vacuum tubes are set up, or your solid state transistors or class D setup, the preamp's gain might be 1. If it drops to 1, then it means it doesn't add any gain, it just adds current drive, so it matches your impedance. So thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Bye bye.